In the grim darkness of the far future, there is an enemy that makes chaos look tame. An enemy so alien, so mysterious that even Necrons, who have existed for 60 million years, have no records of them. The Tyranids, the Great Devourer, and nobody knows where they came from. Today, we are diving into every major theory about the Tyranid origin, examining every evidence, and I'll give you my take on what's really going on. Because understanding where the Tyranids came from might be the key of understanding how the Imperial could possibly survive them. I'm Real Vinny, and this is Warhammer 40K, Lore Explained. The first contact was when the Imperial encountered them when the fleet Behemoth arrived, but they've been in the galaxy far longer, we just didn't recognize them. They are an extragalactic origin. The Tyranids came from the outside our galaxy. Every hive fleet arrives from the intergalactic void. The Tyranids are drawn to the Astronomicon, the psychic lighthouse powered by the God Emperor. It's like a dinner bell calling them to the galaxy. They don't evolve randomly. They adapt with purpose, consuming and integrating the best traits of every species they devour. This suggests intelligent design. They create a psychic dead zone that blocks chaos. They are one of the few forces that can actually suppress the warp. Every hive fleet we've seen, Behemoth, Krag, and Leviathan, is just a scouted tendril. The main swarm hasn't even arrived yet. So we know what they are, but where did they come from? The first theory said that the Tyranids evolved naturally in another galaxy, consumed everything there, and now they are moving to the next buffet. This fits everything we observe. They are hyper-efficient predator species that reach an evolutionary apex. The ultimate invasive species arrive, consume, and move on. The hive mind shows collective intelligence that could have developed over millions of years. Each galaxy they devour makes them smarter, more efficient, and more deadly. The Imperium's Magos biologists support this. Their analysis suggests that the Tyranids have been doing this for billions of years across multiple galaxies. But this theory has a black hole. The hive mind is too perfect, too coordinated. If they evolve naturally, why are they so specifically adapted to counter chaos? The shadow in the warp seems purpose-built to suppress warp entities. That's really suspicious. The Tyranids show signs of design efficiency. Their bioforms are too optimized. Natural evolution is messy. The Tyranids are anything but messy. Here we go into the theory number 2, that they are created by the Old Ones. Here we get a little bit dark. What if the Tyranids were created by the Old Ones as a weapon during the War in Heaven? An ancient race of psychic masters who fought the Necrons and the Khitans 60 million years ago. They created the Eldar, the Orcs, and possibly all the races as a weapon. The timing is suspicious. The War in Heaven ended catastrophically, with the birth of chaos. What if the Old Ones in desperation created the ultimate anti-chaos weapon? The Tyranids shadowing the war perfectly countered chaos. They're immune to corruption. They consume psychic species and nullify warp presence. That's not just a coincidence, that's a design. The Old Ones were masters of biological engineering. Orcs are self-replicating warrior species, and the Tyranids are self-improving consumer species. Same design philosophy, and here's the kicker. What if the Old Ones sent them away from the galaxy to mature, planning then to call them back when needed? But the Old Ones died before they could control their creation. Now the Tyranids are returning, drawn by the Astronomicon, with no master to stop them. But there is another evidence against. The Necrons doesn't have any records of the Tyranids. The Silent King himself, who fought the entire war in heaven, has never seen them before. If the Old Ones created them, the Necrons will definitely know. And if they were created 60 million years ago and sent them away, why are they only arriving now? Theory 3. And that's where it really gets even worse. What if the Tyranids aren't invading? What if they're fleeing? What if they are preparing for something? Think about their behavior. They are not exploring, they're consuming everything as fast as possible and moving on. That's not confident, that's not like an apex predator behavior, that's desperation. The speed and aggression suggest urgency. They're not savoring the meal, they're eating as fast as possible to gain strength and for something else. Some sources suggest that the Tyranids are fleeing from something even worse than them in their home galaxy. Something that made them abandon everything and run. If true, the Tyranids aren't the final boss. They are refugees warning us that the real threat is coming. But there is no concrete evidence of this greater threat. The hive mind shows no signs of fear. Every psychic who touches it describes cold, alien hunger, but not panic. And that's the final theory. What if the Tyranids are connected to chaos or the warp itself? The Tyranids appeared after the birth of Slanesh and the opening of the Eye of Terror. Timelines suggest that the fall of the Eldar might have triggered something. What if the Tyranids are the galaxy's immune response to chaos, a material counterforce to balance the warp corruption? Their anti-warp nature is so perfect it seems designed. They are the only force that can create true psychic silence. But wait, the Tyranids are fundamentally material beings. They have no warp presence, no demon equivalents, no psychic powers beyond the hive mind's coordination. If they were warp-born, they've shown some warp characteristic. Instead, they are the most unwarped thing in the galaxy. Chaos fears them, and that doesn't happen with the warp phenomena. Chaos entities don't fear other warp manifestations. So after examining all the evidence, here's what I think is really going on. I believe the Tyranids are a combination of theory number 1 and theory number 3. They did evolve naturally in another galaxy, but something else catastrophic happened there. They are not just hungry, they are running. And here's why this makes more sense. The Tyranids shows billions of years of natural evolution. Their biological perfection didn't happen overnight, but their behavior, that's recent trauma. They are not just consuming, they are devouring everything like they are preparing for war. Think about it. What if their own galaxy fell to something that makes chaos look tame? What if they consumed the entire galaxy trying to fight it? Now they're fleeing to ours, desperating to gain more biomass to either survive or fight back. And if I'm right, the Tyranids aren't the endgame, they are the warning. The real horror is still out there, and when it arrives, the Tyranids might become the galaxy's desperate allies. The Imperium, Chaos, Necrons, Eldar. Everyone is fighting each other while the Tyranids strip the galaxy bare, and when the real threat arrives, there will be nothing left to fight it with. But also, why does the Astronomicon attract them? Is it just a beacon, or is something that reminding them of something they lost? What if the Emperor sitting on the golden throne is physically connected to whatever the Tyranids are fleeing from? What if turning off the Astronomicon wouldn't save us? It would actually doom us to face the greater threat alone. That's the Tyranid origin mystery. We may never get a definitive answer, and honestly, that's what makes them terrifying. The unknown is always scarier than what we know. But what do you think? Drop your theory in the comments. And if you want more deep dives into Warhammer 40K lore, subscribe. I've got more videos coming soon, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.